And welcome in the final game of the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle. Surprised I am still able to talk with my voice, and here we go. The face-off taken by the Riptide as they win it. Walking in, here's Beck, shoots it on net. Withrow will steer that one aside. Beck, he's gonna lay up a hit. Battling down is O'Meara. To the net, it's taken away by the Silverbacks as Johnson gets it stolen from him, and it's back for McDonald. Here's Caden McDonald. The pass picked off. Here's Wood working in. He's angled out by Best. Taken by Gucci. Around the boards. Johnson. Back up McDonald. Cleared back to the zone. Flipped along the wall. Stuck at the blue line. As they find it at center. Here come the Silverbacks up the ice. Working in. Here's Best on his backhand. Curls back towards the line. Best towards the net. And another picked off pass. This one's Beck that is there to intercept. Beck to McPhee. Memphis McPhee working through the zone. Gets along inside the line. Gets hit pretty big against the boards. As now it's grabbed in by Keddy. Silas Keddy to the hash marks. Waiting, it's stolen. Walking out is Slonwhite. Riker Slonwhite into the zone. To the middle. Keddy, the shot doesn't go. Picked up by McGeegan. Will throw it across. It's deflected. Little foot race for the puck as it's played perfectly by Greg on defense. Here come the Silverbacks the other way. Poke checked. Riptide. They work it back. Here's McLean stepping into the zone. At the blue line. Stopped. There's Brady Young in the pile. Slonwhite will chuck this one across. Silverbacks. The little chip right over to Slonwhite. Riker Slonwhite into the zone. Stops, cuts to the net. Little spin off the pad of McDonald into the line. There's another shot saved by McDonald. Your starting goalies, Ryan Withrow, is in net for the Silverbacks. And Jack McDonald will be in between the pipes for the Riptide. Already 2 minutes played. Is that going to be too many men, or are they going to redo the face-off? Got to respect the hustle from Aaron Romanski. Notice there were 6 players. Immediately didn't try to go through the door. He tried to go head over heels into the bench. And if you were to look at the 2 benches right now, there's a clear advantage. The Riptide have about what looks to be 5 more players on their bench. And we'll see if fatigue is a factor in this one. You're the Riptide in behind the net now. McLean works it up the wall. He'll throw that across rink wide. As the Riptide work into the zone. Here's Bader walking in. He's hit big and still jostled around inside the zone. Here walking in, sharp angle shot. McDonald is there to make the save as he positions himself perfectly. And the last 3 finals, the only 3 finals here streamed on the Uniplex have all been taken by the NB Ice. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that that's going to change here as the Silverbacks have it in their own end. They throw that up to Keddy. Keddy working up the right wall. What a move by Keddy. Keddy the shot saved by McDonald. What an incredible play from Silas Keddy. He has been insane all tournament. It has been amazing to watch that guy play hockey. Johnson out in front, the pass. I mentioned that before as well. Grant Johnson, one of the best playmakers I've seen in this tournament. Surprised he doesn't have about 20 assists thus far. And here come the Silverbacks the other way. Working up his Best. Best through the zone. They have numbers. Best walks in, fakes the shot, and is sat down by Hartman. Silverbacks still in the zone. Johnson to the line. Shot in as it's a bouncing puck to be taken behind the net by Hartman. Walking along, Troy Hartman will throw it up. tipped by McGuigan on net to Withrow, and he'll elect to make the safe play and cover up at 8:13 left to go in the first. Off the face-off, it's chipped out by Bond. Stopped in at the line at the Riptide, got caught up. Here's Bond going the opposite direction. Bond skating in, makes a nice move. Here's Bond trying to center and couldn't get it in front of the net in time. It was redirected. His target, Brady Young, in front. Here's a D-to-D pass as they cycle it. A shot towards the net. That one from Romanski. Romanski at the line, back down for Young in the corner. He now has to do a circle to chase it. Griffin lost sight and control. Now taken back up by McPhee. Memphis McPhee in the zone. He's going to let one go from far, and it missed the net. Here, McDonald. They cycle their way around. Working back is Greg of the Silverbacks in the zone. He's given a shove. It goes to Slonwhite. Slonwhite flipped high. Tipped by Bond, as this one will not go for icing. Taken here by O'Meara. Up for McLean. Harrison McLean stopping, looking to the aid of his defense, as it's McDonald now. They make a nice passing play, getting it to Bader. Here's Bader getting it around McDonald. McDonald shoves Bader, and Bader's given another hit just to put the nail in the coffin on that possession. Here it's flipped into the crowd and right into the employees only section. Here regather for the Silverbacks, a bit of a collision. Luckily, Keddy's able to get it back. Silas Keddy works in, hits the brakes, goes into the boards, tries to drop it off, gets it back. The blue line, Chesson will dump it in. Behind the goal, here's Gucci. Hayden Gucci stops, goes up high. Keddy through traffic. That had to be off the pad of McDonald. And we have a penalty up and coming. I believe it's against the Silverbacks. It is a slash going against the team in white. And it's Cooper Best that's going to head to the box for a slash. Oh, he went into the wrong box to start. He's going to have to leave the box to the Riptide. So Riptide power play up here for 2 minutes. As it starts out, member of the Riptide losing their stick, and it's all the way down the ice. That was O'Meara. Behind the net, it's going to be regathered by Andrews. Be left off back behind the net, Andrews. Andrews cutting back, looking for the perfect option. We'll go cross ice over here for Beck. Up high, walking in, McGeegan dropping it off, no one there. As now here the other way, a foot race for it. It's Andrews and Bond going after it. Andrews getting hit by Bond. Bond causing a lot of disruption here on this penalty kill, which has been absolutely superb to start off. Here's McPhee traveling into the zone. He's angled out. And another slash by the Silverbacks, where this one might be against McPhee. Unsure of who they're going to whistle this down for. It's going to be against the Riptide. Or they're going to be holding the stick against McPhee. That's not a penalty you see all too often. Memphis McPhee is going to get 2 for holding the stick. We can see here, not the easiest to tell, but a 4-on-4 for a minute now, as McPhee has evened this up. Shot all the way down the ice. This one not going to go on net. Delayed icing, and it will go against the Riptide. To the left of McDonald. Face off won by the Riptide. And back, Hartman pinned. Loose out in front before taken away by Sheehan. Sheehan going up the wall. Gets hit. And that was Mason McDonald, rather. Net guard on the ice. There's Hartman. He needs to go to the bench. His net guard on the ice. Being warned by the ref, he successfully will, because we've seen a penalty for illegal equipment just yesterday. Silverbacks try to get out. Walking in, McLean from right off the bench. McLean will flip it high against the end boards. Walking in from the blue line, O'Meara. Taken by the Silverbacks now. Here's Young moving it across. Best is out of the box. It's a power play now for the Silverbacks. For a brief little moment. There's O'Meara. Sauce down. Just gets by McDonald. McDonald now in behind the net. Trying to turn and put it in front of the net. McDonald still with it. Saucer up to the line. Ooh, a nice little toe drag at the point. The shot blocked away by McDonald. McDonald still with it. In the corner. Up high it'll go. Gets by and to the neutral zone we go. 3.5 to go in the first period. 20 seconds to go in the penalty. To McPhee for holding the stick. Walking in, here's Chasson. Waiting, then up to the blue line she goes. Best walks to the middle, debates shooting. Has a stick tied up by Beck, so he'll have to shoot it in where it's taken by Johnson. He's roughed up by Giz. There's now McPhee out of the box. So penalty expired. Good catch by Chasson out of the zone. That could have been a nasty turnover. As the Riptide are inside the zone. 3 minutes left to go in the first. Still no score here on MST. It's Braden Allain from the Uni Surface Uniplex in Dieppe, New Brunswick. In our final game of the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle. With a Riptide, bring it in. McPhee is gonna let one go. It was blocked off a defender. Another one that was a bit of a tie-up out in front, back for the Riptide. It's poked, this could be a rush. Stepping in, here's the shot. Deflected away by McDonald and into the sideboards. On defense, Greg up for Slonway. Slonway into the zone. We have a penalty up against the Riptide. It's an interference call. Must have happened in behind the play. So it's a 2-minute for interference. And trouble opening the penalty box door. There we go. That's going to be 2 minutes for interference against Vinod when he finally entered the penalty box. Silverbacks top of the crease, trying to swerving at a shot off was Johnson. Here's Best, showing off some hands at the point. Going across wink wide. They step into the zone. And ice down. It'll be taken up by Withrow. Here receiving, Ketty going through the zone. No look, behind the back backhand taken by McLean and sent down opposite end of the ice. Here's Best, circling back, going back to his defense partner Chasson. Tried to go up for Ketty, it's back for Chasson. As it's taken in, Ketty will finally get possession, but he's in offside. Probably just by half a step, 1.5 minutes to go in period one. They're the Silverbacks in the offensive zone. Working in the backhand. Across for Greg. Up the shot at the blue line is gloved down by Withrow. That one from Zaxton Bond. Just doing a good job to get a puck on net. Face off. Won by the Silverbacks. Greg trying to put it in. Then a little dump into the zone as O'Meara now realizes he has time. So down the ice, that puck will fly. McDonald in behind the net. Stops and Beck with some pressure to start now backs off. McDonald carries it through center. Caden McDonald still with it, still receiving no pressure. He'll now pass that off to the side. Slonwaite tried to get it to the middle in between a pair of legs and fired down the length of the ice. Stopped in by Withrow. And there's a big hit. McGeegan, the shot scores! Short-handed marker. 36 seconds, Clark McGeegan. What great penalty killing abilities. As he worked his way in. Shoved his man off the puck and then sent it to the back of the net. Here's another shot. The rebound, they score! And a power play marker with a second left. Brady Young just 10 seconds later. Or excuse me, that's Hayden Gucci that's gonna get the final touch on it. Gonna be Gucci from Ketty just 10 seconds later. As what an end that was to the first period. Still 20 seconds left as it's flipped into the boards by Best. Down low in the corner. Up high, shot towards the net, turned away, and a bit of poking at the goaltender after. Face-off taken in by the Riptide. There's a hit laid up by Gucci. As it's sent across over McDonald. That ends our first period as we are going to have an interview coming up featuring Zyla O'Meara of the Riptide from our crew member Campbell Harris coming up in the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle 1-1 after 1.
We're here live at the 2026 Ice Battle. Who am I here with today?
Dax Gregg.
And Dax, what is your pregame ritual? What's something you do before every game to get ready?
Just loosen up, stretch, and tape my stick. Yeah.
Yeah, all good stuff. And what do you think your team needs to do going into this final game to come out with a victory and stand on top of these guys?
You got to have short shifts and be a dog on a bone out there, right? You're just checking hockey, right? Yeah. It's every man for himself.
There you go. All right, thank you, buddy.
And that was Campbell Harris with Dax Gregg of the Silverbacks. As that was a shot that was blocked and turned away. We start the second period tied at 1. Walking in, there's a shot from McLean. And the Silverbacks will now exit the zone. Walking out of the blue line, stepping up. There's Sealis with the shot. Deviated away with the paddle. Silas Ketty working in. Sharp angle off the mask of McDonald and into the protective netting. Face-off taken by the Silverbacks in the corner. It's the Riptide that put it near the front of their net. There's Wood trying to get it towards the blue line. Regathered by Beck. Simon Beck moving back with it. Taken back behind the net by Andrews. And here the stretch pass going against the boards. Poked Beck. Walking back Slonwhite. Picked up by Bond. Still held in by Romanski. And here comes Beck back. He stays on side. What a great move. Simon Beck may have taken a gymnastics class or two, stretching out the leg to stay on side. Here's Wood stepping in, bumped out of the way by Romanski. The Silverbacks make way out of their zone. A good headman pass up to Young, who sends it off to Slonwhite. Has Bond with him. Slonwhite works his way in. The shot, glove down by McDonald. Near the Riptide in the zone. Through the legs of Wood, he now throws it up. A beautiful tape-to-tape pass that had gone up to Griffin. Now back in the zone, it'll go for Vinot. Vinot in behind the net, up to Griffin. Griffin, cross-ice pass up for McPhee. McPhee trailing into the zone in the corner. Taken away. As here's McPhee, high slot, the shot. Just missed the net. That was close with a lot of power behind it. Vinot in the zone. Stopped in. It goes around for Johnson. Johnson up the left side. Has it poked away by McPhee. Johnson in the pile. Where's it going to end up? Back with Johnson. Almost another pile up as the Silverbacks make way out of their zone. Taking it up, Ketty, what a move through the legs, and the shot just goes over the net as it's redirected. Here the side of the net, they still jam it out in front. Johnson, the shot off the pad. Ketty looking for it, doing a little Crosby turn. Johnson again with the chance. McDonald stands tall in net. What a great play. Here come the Silverbacks. Opposite direction, going back, Andrews off the board. McDonald being pinned against the boards. That's Mason McDonald. Now they'll be forced to give it up. Slonwhite moving in, cutting wide. Has his stick chopped at. There's the shot through traffic. Fooled McDonald out in the net, as he did not expect that change up. Flipped in by Young, although gloved down to be shot back in by the red line. They play a little game of catch in the neutral zone. Here the Silverbacks reset. That's a pass that's picked off by McDonald, and he has it poke checked from him. Andrews against the wall. Will throw it in. It's behind the net, taken by Greg. Here's Greg taping his stick as his pregame ritual, as now it's retaken by the Riptide. Backhanded, redirected in the corner. Here's McDonald. He's hit big in the corner. That gets the bench excited. 2-on-2 back the other way. A whistle. And we're going to have a Silverbacks penalty for roughing. I believe it was pointed at Caden McDonald. It's going to be Caden McDonald going in for roughing. And here's the hit in the corner. So Riptide, a 2-minute power play with less than 8 minutes to go in the second. Here the Riptide come back up the blue line, trying a little move to get within the zone. Next shoved against the wall. Down the ice it'll go all the way to Jack McDonald. McDonald will touch up, and we have Wood and Gucci tangled up behind the play. And did they call anything? Looks like nothing was called. The face-off back into the Riptide zone. Not sure exactly what's happening. It was the Silverbacks that iced it. They're on the penalty kill right now. Okay, face-off will go just outside the Silverback bench, close to their blue line. As the Riptide bench gets a little momentum going. And the face-off will be in the Riptide zone. And now we'll finally get the puck dropped. Quick shot off the draw. Here, shorthanded at the blue line. Going to be sent deep into the zone. Ketty fighting off Vinot. Recovered by the Riptide. Little rink-wide pass right to the tape of Griffin. Goes up high and bounced up to McPhee, who's going to be first, and jumps up almost onto a Silverback. Up to Andrews at the line. Picked up by the Silverbacks. Maybe intended stretch pass. Now goes all the way down the ice. Riptide going up. Gucci going in behind the net. He's going to be hit up high, so I believe the Riptide are going to take a penalty. That's going to be head contact. So 46 seconds of a 5-on-4. As it's Sullivan Vinot that's going to go off for head contact. And visibly upset with the call. But regardless, it's going to be 4-on-4 for just over 40 seconds. Giz to McLean. McLean moving in the zone. Stepping in. What a move to McLean. The shot over the net. Maybe some confusion on the scoreboard. There's 21 seconds left of a 4-on-4. And then the remaining time of 1:30 will be a power play to the Silverbacks. As Bader works in. Here's Bond now stealing. Bond had it poke checked. At the line, it's going to be Greg that stops it. Or not, as he gets past. Here's McDonald. Mason McDonald leads a 2-on-1. It's sent across. What a pass. Pulled to the backhand. They score! That's going to go down as a short-handed goal right as the penalty ended. Riptide go up by 1. Laurent Bader and Mason McDonald, on a 2-on-1. Mason McDonald to Bader, and the rest was history, going to the back of the net. A beautiful move as Bader outweights Withrow. Now here for the Silverbacks. They're on a power play. They're now, unfortunately, down 2-1 to the Riptide after what will be considered a shorthanded goal. They battle for it right against the wall in the Silverback zone. They look rink wide. It's tipped at center. There's Johnson being shoved by McDonald. Working in the zone, Chesson. Chesson takes it up past the blue line. Covers it, button hooks. Here's Ketty going back door. The diagonal pass to the zone. Up high, Slonwhite. Slonwhite waiting. One-timer from Ketty, and it'll slowly bounce on net. Unable to be covered as the clear bounces off of McDonald and outside the zone. Vino is now out of the box. He's going to pick off a pass as soon as he gets out. Here's Vino walking in, and the bouncing puck will be taken away. You're taken up. There's the shot. Glove down, Jack McDonald. Face off one, shot from far, blocked. It was McDonald letting one go. Now here could be a break. Stepping in, having some room, Griffin, the shot scores! Riker Griffin off a lob spring pass on a breakaway gets the Riptide a 2-goal lead as they run into McDonald after. 3-1 Riptide now with just 4 minutes left to go. And now feeling much more comfortable, a 2-goal lead instead of one. There's a shot deflected on. I mean, some say the worst lead in hockey. As the Silverbacks come in, there's Young. He's hit by Griffin, given multiple shoves. Young finally going around and lobbing that up. Blocked down, Griffin has the puck hop over his stick, and then there was Chesson that was given a shove. Stepping up, Vino, a little D-to-D as the Riptide cleanly get out of the zone. Walking in McPhee, delayed offside. It's backhanded out by Bond. It'll find its way back with Vino. Back for Best. Best over to Chesson. The little dish ends up with Chesson in the zone. Chesson working in, passed out in front. Looked for a couple targets and no one there as it swept away. Bader could have a 2-on-1. Send it to the middle. Griffin has another chance. Griffin shoots just over the net as it rebounds back. Riker Griffin, 2 great chances. Has had one though as the Riptide are going to take a penalty. McLean definitely thought about shooting after the whistle. Those Silverbacks head to the power play. This would be a huge goal to cut the lead down before the end of the period. It's going to be a trip against Laurent Bader. He has a goal earlier today. It was the one shorthanded. The Silverbacks to the man advantage. As the Riptide win the faceoff, Mason McDonald will send that to the opposite end of the ice surface. Two and a half to go. Working up, sent to the middle. Walking in, Ketty hitting the brakes. Trying to go to the middle, Ketty. The little dangle works his way in, gets his way around to it, drops it off. Can't quite getting the handle there is Gucci. And it's down the ice for the Riptide. They're taking him behind the net. Wood applying heavy pressure. Puck almost got stuck on the side of the net. As now here it is to the far side. Working in the zone. Here was Johnson. It was quickly taken away and sent to the opposite end of the ice. Here walking out, Silverbacks. Out to the middle. Riptide doing a great job on this penalty kill. Just a minute and a half left. The pass from Romansky to the middle, over for Gucci. Gucci steps in, cuts wide, looks in front, still around the net with it. Up along the boards. Here it's taken away. Shot from Best at the line. It bounces off the pad of McDonald and into the corner. Here's Best walking up. He's going to let one go. And wide of the net it went. It was a stick of a Riptide player down on the ice. At the blue line, McDonald across for Best. Best going to have another try. Third time not the charm as this one goes over the net. Ketty tried to go to McDonald as the Riptide will take it shorthanded. 10 seconds left to go in the Bader tripping call. As here the Silverbacks working their way up. McDonald forces his way through. Tries to cut up the middle. Goes across for Johnson. Johnson to the blue line. A dangerous pass. He gets it back. Works his way in. It's dropped off. Penalty now expired. And all the way down the ice it'll go. Withrow out to play it. He'll cover. Or a whistle at 35.2 seconds. .35 seconds. Taken around by McPhee. The pass right to the net. Withrow makes the save and the rebound is quickly taken away. Moved up by Bond. Bond into the zone, barely onside as he slides along the ground as it's shot outside the zone. With the bank off the boards, less than 20. Curling around, making its way into the zone is Chesson. Chesson in, waits, cuts around, gets around once. Chesson tries to get it to the net. They rebound. They jam away at it. Loose puck. And it deflects up to the line where now McPhee and Ravansky go up for it. End of the second period, 3-1 in favor of the Riptide. Stick around for the interview with Zyler O'Meara talking with Campbell Harris here on MST. 3-1 Riptide. After 2, it's Braden Lane from the Unisurface on the Uniplex. Yep, New Brunswick. As we get started in the third period now. Not much time off the clock. This puck flipped high. Almost gathered by Young. Working out, it's off the boards. Taken by the Riptide. And here the Silverbacks move out. Here's Bond stepping up, trying to keep his footing. Goes to his knees, comes back up quickly. The saucer pass just out of the extended reach of his target. And down it will go as it's cleared back, not going to be icing. Riptide move it in the corner. Flipped up high by O'Meara. Taken, shot. Didn't miss wide by much. As here it goes to Wood. Stopped in at the line. And just carried out now. Here's Bond. Moving in. Nice move. Here comes Zaxton Bond in just offside. While we have a break, we invite you to tell us where you're listening from in the chat. Us, the crew at MST, would love to hear from you. I'd like to acknowledge the current 80 watching live along with us for our last game of the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle. As the other game on IGA now finished, this is the only game in action Here's McPhee walking in. That was McGeegan with the shot. He has a goal earlier in the game, wanting two, was denied by Withrow. They pin it up against the boards. McGeegan still after it. Up at the blue line, waiting, shooting. Just elevates it over the crossbar. And here's a big crash in the corner as Gucci comes out of the pile with possession. Gets past McGeegan. Works his way in. Hayden Gucci still with it. Knocks down one on the way. Here's Gucci cutting wide. Has done a full lap of the ice to the blue line. Greg the shot. Tried to get a redirection. Here's Grant Johnson. Goes back up to the point. Waiting, shooting. And the redirection found its way in the corner. McGeegan to the middle. Little sauce up past Johnson. Silverbacks through center. Poked off to the side. Here's Keddy working in. Gonna shoot it. It's taken off to the hash marks after it was redirected by McDonald. Riptide back with it. It's loose in between a pair of feet. And it's now taken across into the zone. Hartman in his own end is tied up. It's stolen by Keddy. Keddy stick handles. Takes it on his forehand. Sharp angle shot. The rebound. He finds it loose in the slot. Another try as it's regathered by the Riptide defense. And how did Bader get up there? Bader all alone with the stretch pass. Walking into his backhand. Just wide. Another try in the front. Just wide again. How did no one see Laurent Bader? He was almost at the Silverbacks blue line. Here's Best to Bond. Walking in, offside. And there was Bader stepping in. He already has one goal already. There was his effort to get two ever so close. And a nice stop by McDonald, who will cover. Face off won by the Silverbacks. They put it to the net. Rebound is taken away and into the corner. Slonwaite looked up, taken away by Beck. Riptide move it back. And here's Steele. Bumps, Wood, Steele. It goes in between multiple pairs of feet. And there was Beck looking to come in and absolutely destroy someone. Here it's off the boards. We'll go all the way to McDonald, so no icing as play will continue. Regathered by McPhee. Memphis McPhee into a pair of skates. Walking in, Bond again stolen by McPhee. McPhee sends it to McGeegan. Off the wall, McDonald. Now found right at the center near the stanchion, and there was a big hit in open ice. As pushing and shoving continues right next to the middle stanchion. As a player of the Riptide taken down. There's a huge hit. McGeegan sits his man down in the corner. Bond trying to go up into the middle. Retaken back by the Riptide defense. Moving up, O'Meara. Shoot it in behind the net of Withrow. Silverbacks work their way out. There's a bump along the wall. McDonald in, Bader. Working back is Gucci. Aiden Gucci looked like he was just going to try to power up the wing again like he had done previously. This one going to go on net again to McDonald. This time, Keddy is right there. Let's go back to the huge hit. Clark McGeegan in the corner. He lays his man out. Tied up in the face-off dot, looking after it. Goes over to the Riptide, walking up. Here's McLean. Harrison McLean will throw it into the zone and behind the net. Taken by Romanski. Worked out by Gucci. Taken by Johnson, back to Gucci. Gucci goes upstairs for Ketty, and they are in just offside. Riptide poke it to the Silverbacks blue line. That's a penalty coming up to the Riptide, and Colston Wood is going to get penalized. Oh, Colston Wood will go have a sit for 2. And everything on the score clock just disappeared. So having some issues with the time clock. As there was just over 6 minutes to go in the period, I believe it was switched into chronological time. .606 displayed up on the score clock. And there we go. Now we have it back. 6:08 left in the third. 3-1 in favor of the Riptide. Face-off done up. Don't believe they were instructed to. Silverbacks at the line. There, the shot just goes over the net. Rebound picked up for the blue line. Waiting, McDonald, the shot from the line. They try to knock it down. A big block there from Griffin. He is hobbling to his bench. He's feeling that. But his teammates, especially Jack McDonald, are going to love him for that. Here's Best. Going around the boards. Gucci works his way up through the zone. Bouncing puck. Has to go through a couple and does. Here's Gucci in the zone. Looks out in front. Just misses the passing option in front. And here it is. Another try to the slot. Almost taken up by Gucci. Working around. Here's Ketty. Powerful Silas Ketty in the zone. The shot on net. Save the rebound. They try whacking at it a few times. Oh, and here we go. Some roughhousing in after the whistle. Five minutes left to go in the third. Referee's going to discuss with the play that just happened. We'll take a quick break here on MST. Face-off taken by the Silverbacks. They work out. Greg sending it across for Griffin. Griffin almost leveled by Mason McDonald as now the Silverbacks head up. Just less than 40 seconds to go. Stepping up Young. The shot, it skips next to the net. Rammed off the wall to Andrews. By Andrews, I should say, at the line. Greg gonna let one go through traffic. Blocked by the back of Ethan Andrews. And lifted down to the opposite end of the ice. Taking it back. Romanski back to his defense. Penalty now over 5-on-5 as Bond tries to shake his way in and takes a stumble. And the Riptide almost a little, oh, and a trip on Withrow. That's going to be a penalty, another one against the Riptide. Slonwhite in the zone, throwing it to the net. Ramped up, Riptide will touch up. Withrow had gone out of his net to play it. And at the trip against Colston Wood. Oh, another penalty to the Riptide. Silverbacks power play. This one a must score. Backhanded attempt to the line. Held in. Here's Best, the shot wide. They're going to regather this again. Ketty goes up. Here's the shot from far. The save, the rebound. And just missing the net as it's taken by Gucci. Gucci sent in behind for Johnson. Johnson curls around. Waits. Continues to go up the wall. Johnson looks to the blue line. Here's Ketty. Gonna let one go. It's redirected. Left of the post. Here at the line. They go up. Backdoor pass. And tried to get it over to Best. Here's Best. Will dump it in. Taken in the corner by Gucci. A minute gone on the power play as Gucci travels up towards the line. Protects the puck. Leaves it off. Best putting to the net. Redirected. It was a nice tip by Ketty, but blocked just moments later. Hipped outside. Griffin will work his way outside the zone. Withrow going to go outside his net. Not get tripped this time, but had to make sure that was going around the net, as that could have been a dangerous chance. Working up McGeegan. And there's two Silverbacks that collide. Best is down, getting up slowly after colliding with his own teammate, Romanski. The pass in the net, the backhander by Gucci going directly through the crease and shot all the way down the length of the ice as Best has gone to the bench. And definitely looks in a bit of pain. Here's Ketty sending one up, cross ice, Slonwhite. Bring it in. Has his stick lifted. The Riptide going back the other way. McPhee working in. Shorthanded breakaway. Backhand scores. And my mistake, not shorthanded. The penalty had just expired. That's an even strength goal for Memphis McPhee. But he makes it 4-1. The insurance marker with 1 minute and 42 to go. And now a timeout going to be taken by the Silverbacks. We'll be back with more on MST. Bring the lane from the Uniplex. Unisurface in Dieppe, New Brunswick for the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle.
We're here live at the 2026 Ice Battle. Who am I here with today?
I'm Zylo O'Mara.
Okay, and what do you think your team needs to do going into this final game here and come out the victory and stand on top?
I think we're going to have to hit hard and finish our checks and put some pressure on the other team.
Awesome, I like it. And why do you think you got the C on your chest there? Why do you think you represented the most on your team?
I just think the boys believed in me and thought that I would be a good fit, so that's all.
That's awesome. Thank you, buddy.
And there was Zyler O'Meara, the captain of the Riptide, talking with Campbell Harris. As now the Silverbacks come up ice. It was Young that got poke checked in the middle. Here, Greg McLean now taken away, going over to Bader. Walking down Bond. Just over a minute left. Gonna have to see if they take any chance to pull Withrow. Just 3 goals in a minute, not gonna be easy. Let's hear the Silverbacks rush up ice. Bond skates up in the zone. Walking in, shot, save, rebound. They still dig for it, looking in the back door. Taken away by Bader, and he'll just shove it outside the zone for clearance. Here come the Silverbacks. Walking in, McDonald cutting wide. Caden McDonald in behind the net. It's left back off by Young as it's along the high boards here. Sent along in the zone. We're going to have a penalty against the Riptide. Bond will work his way in, touched up, and the Riptide will be shorthanded again. And it's head contact doing against Simon Beck. But 21.8 seconds left in the third. The Riptide have found themselves up 4-1. And the Riptide, that was Johnson looking for a shot. It's cleared all the way down. Getting down to 15 seconds now. It's going to be played by Chiasson. In behind the net, he won't hold as time still ticks down. The Riptide bench, they get excited. Slap shot in, glove down, going to be left out by McDonald. And the Riptide take gold. In Dieppe, the team from the island. They get the gold here in the 2013 division. East Coast Ice Battle here on MST. And on behalf of MST, we'd like to thank everyone for their support and encouragement throughout this tournament, as this 2026 East Coast Ice Battle has now come to an end. The last victors, your 2013 Riptide. Brayden Delane from the Uniplex Unisurface here, Dieppe, New Brunswick, from MST.
Player of the game for home team Riptide, number 31, Jack McDonald.
All right, before we get started here with the medal presentation, on behalf of East Coast Ice, I would like to thank you all for coming this weekend, and congratulations to both teams for a great tournament. So how we will proceed with the ceremony, we're going to present the silver medals here on the ice as well as the trophy, and then we ask the Riptide to meet us in room number 6, where we will give you guys your rings. And parents are invited to join us in room 6 as well. So we're going to get started with the silver medal presentation.
Number 1, Ryan Whitrow. Number 4, Brady Young. Number 7, Riker Slowhite. Number 8, Dax Gregg. Number 9, Hayden Gucci. Number 10, Zaxton Bond. Number 11, Henry Chiasson. Number 13, Caden McDonald. Number 16, Aaron Romoski. Number 19, Silas Keddy. Number 26, Cooper Best. Number 27, Grant Johnson. And number 98, Jack Baxter. Now, home team Riptide, come get your trophy.
My bows and my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge.